course, a familiar face. We just saw him on a Players to Watch graph. Tyler Matthews here, bringing the spice in this Baynet EX deck, facing off against Lance Bradshaw, which you didn't even mention to me, Kyle. 2015 senior champion.
I literally said it.
No, you said, I was like, no, he had like some top placements.
Yeah,
You said
no.
senior champion?
He was a senior national champion. I said that.
Oh, no, actually you did say that. You did say that. That's my bad.
But that's why
my bad.
That's why I keep thinking he's a baby.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. I mean, he does look rather young. I got to give you that. But yes, Lance Bradshaw coming up from the senior division, now in the Masters division on our field here as well, playing against Tyler Matthews. But it's going to be the Baynet versus Reggie Drago, kicking off our Swiss round 5 between these players. What do you think about this matchup, Kyle?
What do you think about this start here, Boo?
Oh, no.
So that's a Radiant Alakazam in the opening.
It's a start.
Honestly, I've attacked with it before.
You're like,
and Lance is over here
work.
thinking, uh-oh. I think it's what, Mind Jack or something? Mind Ruler, yeah.
Yes.
It's actually pretty good. But maybe not what you're looking for. On
Is
your
this like the Rabska as well?
Yeah.
You didn't expect
right?
it, but then it comes out of nowhere? Yeah.
What is good here is Buddy Poppin to start things off. We'll take a look at those prize cards. Once again, for the 3rd time in a row, player 1 does not have that pink card.
Yeah, if you're coming on stream, sit in the seat to the right because Prime Catcher, although it is at the bottom here for Tyler Matthews, so that is nice to see. But yeah, UEX in there, Shuppet, a Baynet EX, a lot of Pokemon in there, Prime Catcher Switch, and that energy card. For Lance Bradshaw, as far as the prize cards go, anything too bad on that side? Hawlucha?
Yeah, not too much to worry about on that side. I think the big thing to think about in this opening turn is Tyler got to go first. And setting up these Pokemon, having the ability to evolve them before a board wipe from Kyurem has been the most devastating thing I've seen in this matchup to date, and you have to avoid that at all costs. Lance still going to put on some pressure early, but for Tyler, yeah, you got some Pokemon down, but this isn't enough.
Yeah, exactly. You actually have to see a lot established here on the turn 1 there for Tyler. So it's not bad, but it's also awkward and clunky, especially with that Radiant Alakazam being in the active position there for the setup. Now we're on Lance Bradshaw's side of the field here, starting off with some Teal Dance, get a little extra draw support there. Nest Ball being played now to line things up on the bench. But let's discuss, and those, of course, are the prize cards there for Lance. Nothing too bad.
Yeah, double research, maybe not your favorite thing to see. Obviously,
yeah,
this is a matchup where you can play aggressive. You don't worry about your resources.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You go very aggressive with your item cards as fast as possible.
Yeah, you need to get as many cards in hand so you can play them, yeah. That's a good
But not
point.
too many, because then
yeah,
they poltergeist you.
You need to be able to play them, yes, exactly. Yeah, let's talk about this matchup. Baynet, it is an off-meta deck for sure. I don't think we actually saw it anywhere on either of those meta share lists that we saw. Let's discuss the mechanics of it. I mean, Henry Brand has spammed this deck everywhere online, has definitely supported the Baynet EX deck with the Dusknoir line as well. It's Everlasting Darkness move hits for 30, but it also means your opponent can't play any item cards from their hand. You're stacking up those item cards into their hand. Then you hit him for Poltergeist that does 60 damage for each trainer card that you find in their hand as well. So you could take some huge knockouts, not to mention you have the Dusknoir line, which I'm excited to see, Kyle.
Yeah, Dusknoir really spices things up, not only accelerating all of that additional damage onto the board, but also giving your opponent those prize cards, leading into those devastating Ionos and putting your opponent on bad hands. That can be exactly what you need to get your opponent in an awkward spot where they find only items. You lock them down from that point, and you start to manipulate when prize cards are taken, especially with cards like that Radiant Alakazam to help out.
Yeah.
See from Lance, he's obviously considering playing down as many cards as he can, making the most of these resources. Pheasantipity, a nice find too, but it's tricky to dance around here. You need to squawk and seize into some reasonable resources like a supporter.
Yup. Wait, did you see it or no?
Nope.
Oh, not finding the supporter here, even though going second off for Lance Bradshaw off that Squawk and Seize, discarding the hand into a fresh 6 cards here. Not finding the supporter, that is not what you want to see.
Not over. It's not over just yet. Certainly some resources to find. The #1 resource in this hand that you love to see is that energy switch. Sign me up for a little bit of that. If you can accelerate those energies like you do to the Teal Mask. You can switch onto the Regidrago, maybe thin this hand all the way down and use that Mew to refresh, draw a little more, maybe find a supporter that way.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're seeing here. Lance established the board. Ultra Ball, discarding an Ultra Ball and a Grass Energy
Safety
out.
first.
Yeah, safety first indeed. That V-Star coming out if item cards are going to be locked down potentially here on the next turn from Tyler Matthews. Lance needs to play as many cards as possible, get as many support Pokemon out there as possible as well to help. But
you know what? This doesn't look great, but it is what you have to do here. All 4 Ultra Balls down on the opening turn, drawing into a little bit.
With the restart.
But this Celestial Roar is actually pretty impactful here. Not only if it could hit the energy, but just discarding a Pokemon to attack would be cool with. Chooses not to go for it, though.
Wow, yeah.
I don't like this. There's not much. There's just Giratina in the discard pile right now. I don't want to copy that.
No. Yeah, that is an awkward one to copy indeed. You got to be very choosy to where you copy that Giratina lost impact move. Yeah,
how do you get Pokemon in the discard from this point besides Legacy? It's just Legacy at this point, unless you find one of the 2 final research in the deck.
That's true. Yeah, the Ultra Balls are gone. Yeah, exactly. They're gone, and they won't even be able to be played either. That Bayonet coming down. We see Lance reading it as well. I'm hoping that's just to verify everything on the card.
Knowing Lance, he might not know yet.
No way, Kyle.
Lance is a very talented player, but he doesn't always spend the most time getting ready for the event. We'll see.
Does he not have social media? Because I feel like Henry Brand's been running around about this deck forever.
Lance will figure it out, though. That's the beauty of it.
Exactly. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe that, I guess, kind of shows that choice there in not using the Celestial Roar, I suppose. But I don't know. Bayonet's out, though, and it's on the board, and it is threatening here. Tyler Matthews, of course, still has that Radiant Alakazam in the active position here. That's going to be needed to switch out. It's got 2 retreats, so going to have to find a card for that. But the Dusknoir as well, already evolved into, of course, off that rare candy, goes from up into the active, on the bench here, as well as a Duskull joining us too.
Yep, 2 Switch featured in the list, so hopefully one of those can be found pretty soon to give Tyler an opportunity, but that's just to pass the turn, it looks like, and this is the window that Lance is looking for, not only...
Just after reading the card.
Yeah, oh, good. Well, you could have disrupted my items, but you're not going to. Thanks for that, pal.
Hey, did you know, Kyle, that Baltimore is also known as the city that reads? And I guess we're seeing out here from our players reading the cards here in Baltimore. You'll love to see it. So Lance has another opportunity here to play these item cards. This is huge because you want to lock down your opponent as much as you possibly can to debilitate their strategies going forward. Because if Lance was not able to play these pivotal item cards, then he'd be having a rough time here. But Earthen Vessel is going to be played here from Lance, discarding these cards, playing into more cards after thinning out the deck. Those energies coming out of the deck off the Earthen Vessel. Nest Ball going to reestablish the board here as well with a Regidrago V. What else did we see in the hand that we're working with, Kyle? Did you see anything?
Not much to really work with. I assume it's just the Regidrago V-Star and working in that Legacy. But
yeah,
the issue is you are completely reliant on finding the right card, unless you want to waste your Legacy to go find Ultra Ball, which just doesn't look great. But if you could find a Pokemon like the Hisuian Guja or even the Dragapult in this mix, the Dragapult would be so clean to knock out this Pokemon, place the rest of the damage counters on that Duskull, and put your opponent in a spot where they don't really have an answer to knocking out this Pokemon here with a single Dusknoir.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Kyle. We're going to have to see where Lance goes. Going to use the Super Rod, though, to put that Regidrago as well as an energy back into the deck. We're going to see the Teal Dance here, drawing into an additional card to the hand. And, of course, that V-Star that was sought out off the Ultra Ball in the last turn. Boss's Order is going to bring that Bayonet into the active position here. Lance is not playing any games. We have that V-Star already in the active here now. We still have cards to draw with the restart off the Mew EX, drawing up to 3 cards in the hand here. Some additional support.
It looks like preservation of the Legacy Star is an opportunity too. You could use Lost Impact from the Giratina, take the knockout. You lose those 2 energies, but it's a great opportunity here to remove the only attacker on Tyler's side. Have to take advantage of that spot.
Well, that bayonet, it was out there, but it was not even able to be utilized. It is off the field now. Lance Bradshaw taking the knockout there. 2 prize cards down. That Dusknoir joining us in the active position here now, but Tyler Matthews didn't even have another Shuppet out on the field from that last turn. And look at the hands that we're working with, having to Ultra Ball here to throw all the cards in the hand away in that Night Stretcher, and I believe another Ultra Ball. But it's just to get this Luminion V because we don't have a hand at this point in time for Tyler Matthews.
Yeah, this is often what we see here from these decks. You're trying to set up this really unique strategy, but ultimately you're just grasping at straws, hoping to find some help here. Professor's research maybe can be the ticket to help out, but what do you finish the turn with in the active spot? Nothing seems great.
And now the Fish Sticks is on the field too, Kyle.
Yeah, we're just giving up more prize cards.
Exactly. Fish Sticks is out.
Tartar sauce all over the place.
Exactly. Lance has every opportunity now to take the edge in this game here. It was looking so promising, but I guess it kind of shows the downfalls to this deck when you can't establish that lock early enough there. So Tyler's really going to have to work around the math here. And hopefully this Professor's Research gets us some cards we can work with. 7 cards to the hands now. Nothing to even discard. What are we seeing?
Looks like there's a way to set up some Pokemon here. The Hisuian Heavy Ball could find, I believe there's a Shuppet in the prize cards.
There is, yeah.
There's also an Ultra Ball, so you could search out maybe one more Pokemon, but you're not protecting your bench from anything at this point. There's no way to save this Pokemon.
Nah, you got to go full
Dragapult and
full gas.
There is no gas.
Yeah, there is none, exactly. We're running on fumes
we got 2 speeds on this Huffy, okay? It ain't going anywhere.
Oh, well, the Mew is going to come out of those prize cards. That's a beautiful one, too. So pretty.
Does it get to attack for fewer energies? That's what I'm looking for, because this is tough. There is not much left from those prize cards. We'll see the Shuppet was not the choice, going for the Mew instead this time around, and you need to continue to look for some help, but where is it?
Exactly. We're working through the deck now with this Earthen Vessel, throwing away that Squawkabilly into the discard pile. 2 energy going to come out here for Tyler, but yeah, this is a bit awkward here for sure. Still have a couple of cards here in hand. Night Stretcher, I think that's an Ultra Ball there. Could discard some more cards out of the
Rod
hand.
Too, but that's you're going to thin down. You can draw potentially a little more with the Mew, but I don't see a situation where you're not very susceptible to a game-ending Dragapult on the following turn.
Exactly, yeah, and that is something you're very prepared for from these Regidrago decks, and it's inevitable. Yeah, you can't even do anything against it. You just got to prep for it as much as possible, but you don't even want to be in this position if you're Tyler Matthews. But now you find yourself here for Tyler and just having to work around it.
I need a Rapska. Quick.
Where's more Raps?
Help.
I should have teched it in. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I guess exploring this list, I mean, the Pokemon in it, we've seen all of them. Well, except for the Blood Moon.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I'm looking for at this point. Is you can just throw all of your Dusclops and Dusknoir down and get down to 2 prize cards, and then you have to work in the Ursaluna.
Some reduction in the energy cost, huh, right? Maybe not from the Mew, but...
So you're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance, exactly. That cursed blast that you're seeing up there right now on the screen for Tyler Matthews. Both the Dusclops and the Dusknoir. Dusknoir places a little bit more damage down, but Dusclops also carrying some weight there. 5 damage counters versus 13 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Shuppet is now out on the field. You love to see it, Kyle, thanks to that Night Stretcher. Bringing it back out. Restart's going to be utilized as well to get these cards into the hand here. 3 cards in the hand. Another Shuppet netted off of that restart, as well as an energy, which we still haven't even seen an energy, but it's our first time seeing this, Kyle.
Night-night. He's going away.
See you later, Dusknoir. It was in the active position, but now it has knocked itself out with that cursed blast into the discard pile here. Lance Bradshaw going to be able to take a prize card there off of that knockout that Tyler Matthews caused to himself.
All right, it's all on the enveloping shadow.
It's the heads. What?
Boom.
Oh my gosh, the Shuppet pulling. I mean, I didn't expect to see this when I was thinking of the Bayonet deck. The attack here, enveloping shadow from the Shuppet, but that also still locks those item cards from your opponent's hand. So Shuppet carrying some weight here. It's just the smaller version, only 60 HP, but Lance Bradshaw still has a lot to work with here on this side of the board.
This locks up the potential for the...
Oh,
well,
whoa.
We're done here now.
We missed that.
maybe there was a way to get the Dragapult there and just completely clean up. But locking out the ability to discard there was something to note, but it's over now. And honestly, I think that's the right call here from Tyler. This was a game that you would have been working for a long time to try to clean up. And typically on that Dusknoir turn, you need that Iono. You need to prevent them from having the right tools. Lance held on to all the right resources at the right time.
Yeah, and Lance had the options of the different attackers too, potentially there. As you mentioned, that Dragapult, the potential Kyurem too. Let's take a look at this match between our players. This was our game one. It went pretty quickly here. I feel like the tables turned so early on, but Lance Bradshaw was able to take things down. We saw the boss's orders taking out that early knockout on the Bayonet EX from Lance's side. After reading the card, now the card's off the field. And Tyler, unfortunately, did not even have a Shuppet established on the field to recover that. Was able to get some Pokemon out here to try to reestablish things. Did get that enveloping shadow there from the Shuppet attack, but that was it for the game. Actually, not a lot happened in that game.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because for Tyler, he plays a lot of different resources to have a nice full board and go for some crazy shenanigans on that second turn. Didn't have the opportunity this time. Maybe we'll see that Pokestop come into play, find the buddy, and that's how you find all your friends.
That's how you find your friends. We'll see. We saw the fist bump between our players. This is our game two kicking off this epic matchup between Bayonet EX versus Regidrago V-Star. Lance Bradshaw versus Tyler Matthews starting over on Tyler's side. This is starting first, I believe, once again here. Duskull is the active Pokemon this time around. Squawkabilly coming down as well from the Nest Ball. And we're going straight into an Ultra Ball now here. So able to get a couple of things established. Counter catcher going down there as well as a Bayonet EX from Tyler's side. But what would you like to see as far as a change here from Tyler? Was it even anything that can really be changed? We're going to see the same strategy that we saw in our game one.
Well, obviously you see...
Oh my gosh, the price card.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm trying to tell you.
I wasn't looking.
Yeah, this is bad.
I looked over and was like, oh no.
There's one Dusclops. It's there. There's 4 candy. You're down half of them.
Half of them.
It makes it really tough to have that pop-off turn on the opener. Tyler's going to realize this, and he knows well, the number one way that I'm going to win anything, some semblance of this game, is to find basic Pokemon. You have to give yourself that opportunity. Squawk and Seize, along with Pokestop,
that's good.
Certainly have some opportunity to find the right cards.
Yeah, that Squawk and Seize is huge here. You could play it on your first turn here, but Pokestop would be able to help out here. Oh, let's see if it actually helps out. Ooh, that's nice. Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, and an Earthen Battle. All items that you want to see. We're Pogo gamers here on Tyler Matthews' side of the field. So we're turning things around just a little bit here.
Yeah, Squawk and Seize for 9 is pretty good.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Squawkabilly EX. Turning out to be quite the helper in our matchups once again. Shuppet's already out, has the energy attached as well to follow up the next turn. 2 Duskulls out. I mean, this is looking great here for Tyler versus the last game we just saw played out.
Yeah, certainly. We know those prize cards are going to be unfortunate. It leads to some issues with moving this Duskull out of the active spot. You're left with having to find those item resources instead. But if you do find the rare candy, the Dusknoir, this is a huge opportunity for Tyler to have that big turn 2, lock in the item locking, and you can see how detrimental that will be to Lance's strategy if he doesn't have those opening item cards.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's so many item cards that are played here for Lance Bradshaw, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of them in hands, and he's going to have to utilize them as much as he possibly can before he can't anymore. So kicking off this first turn here, Lance, of course, going second, so is able to use a supporter card. Nest Ball going to be played to start things off. What are the prize cards on Lance's side?
Not the worst. Obviously, you've got one of those fire energies that's tricky. You play only 3 of them, so finding the right one at the right time, especially under item lock, can be pretty frustrating. See the 2 nest ball too, so
Yeah.
if you don't have those early ways to search out Pokemon, row.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're seeing one now here from Lance, which is great, but it is going to be looking through the deck and seeing these missing resources, taking note of them as well, something a lot of our pro players do here out, especially on stream, making sure to keep track of all of these resources. But
Save the split second with having the wrist, the watch facing you, so you don't have to turn your wrist the whole way.
I love when they do that.
We got gamers out here.
Exactly. I mean, you can tell Lance was winning in the seniors division. He's been at this for a long time here. But we're going to see a Squawkabilly of his own now on the right side. Squawkabilly going to be able to squawk C's here for Lance on this turn, but of course having to thin down here. You love to see it. Ultra Ball discarding these dragon Pokemon.
Yeah, look at this hand to clean up here with the Squawkencies. It's the
Beautiful.
grass energy and the energy switch once
Oh my
more.
gosh.
So another
Wow.
energy to accelerate to this Pokemon. There's a world where you have a turn 1 attack here with this Regidrago V. Take a knockout and surprise your opponent real quick.
Yeah, could we actually see the Regidrago V come into play? That would be very cool. The Dragon Laser move that it has. Pew pew, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what the art looks like as well. It's literally pew pew there on that artwork. The Regidrago V-Star is an MVP, of course, of this deck, but hey, that Regidrago V wants to come out and play as well. We saw the energy switch being used, the Squawkencies here.
The last card throwing away Dragapult too, of all Pokemon.
Yeah, that is brutal. Those Dragon Pokemon go down into the discard pile.
That's the nightmare for Tyler. He does not want to see additional attacks to use. He wants to limit Lance with those opportunities, lock the item early so that he's completely reliant on discarding by way of research, by way of Legacy Star, and that's just not the case this time around.
Exactly. And I mean, this just shows the potential of what you can actually do with Regidrago. If you get these cards, and the Squawkabilly EX helps out immensely with that, allowing you to play all these items down, get these Dragon Pokemon out nice and easy. And then if you have a way to discard them, you're chilling. So Lance is establishing as much as possible here before Tyler's even able to get off the ground. And you have to think, Tyler opted to go first, of course, to get that lead. But Lance is doing everything possible to stay strong in this matchup. Regidrago V also joining us on the bench.
Yeah,
as
we
well
saw
for
Lance last time chose to go for the Regidrago V-Star in this situation. It's because he didn't have to respect the ability for Tyler to reach those big numbers by Rare Candy Dusknoir, dropping 13 damage counters twice and cleaning up with a Bayonet or anything like that. It's not something you think about this time around. Instead, you have the 2 Pokemon and you have the other Regidrago V to build up on if there is that possibility for Tyler to have that big turn here.
Yeah, you have some protection down for sure there. We did see a couple resources used, of course, in that single energy switch. So Lance is reaching a little bit there, hopefully hoping to hang on here for another turn. But Tyler is starting things off here for this turn. This is the second turn for Tyler Matthews. Ultra Ball searching out a Pokemon here from the deck in that Bayonet, of course. Slapping it down here. No rare candy needed on that Pokemon. Bayonet is out on the field. And that Shuppet has grown up into a creepy-looking little monster.
Spooky little lad.
Hey,
Everlasting
October's
darkness.
around the corner, right?
It's spooky season.
Spooky season indeed. Pokestop going to be rolled here. Let's see if we can get some items. Love it, love it. Okay, Shuppet.
That's exactly what Jeremy was foreshadowing. The Pokestop gamers finding Night Stretchers.
True.
It's exactly what you want to see. Unfortunately, it does not come with a rare candy.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Buddy Buddy Poffin is being played, though, thanks to that Pokestop. Netting it to the hand, going to get out these small HP, 60 HP or less Pokemon onto the field here for Tyler in that Duskull, of course, joining the field. This is quite a fancy deck as well. Some beautiful artworks that we see representing the Bayonet gamers strongly. We see the energy come down attachment from the hand for Tyler Matthews into this Iono. Both of our players are still at 6 prize cards, so we're going to see a fresh 6 card hand for both.
Yeah, this is a spot where Tyler had an opportunity to maybe use Arven, find the rare candy and the Dusknoir with the Dusknoir already in hand. But sure enough, It's pretty well rewarded in this spot. Iono finds Rare Candy Ultra Ball if he wants to use this Pokemon, but is this the right time?
Is it? Yes. So we'll have to see if Tyler thinks it is or not. But Shuppet, oh, we don't even just have the Baynet EX. We have the Stage 1 Baynet single prize Pokemon as well with some Puppet offering. It's getting even spookier in here, Kyle.
Yeah, this is a double-edged sword because, yes, you'd like to have another Baynet EX lined up, ready to attack, but you can't give your opponent that free knockout onto a Shuppet by way of Dragapult. So evolves this Pokemon, but in doing so limits the ability to have a big attacker next turn.
Ooh, okay, well, this is where things start to shift here. So we see the ping here, that 30 damage onto the Regidrago V. The item lock has happened, and that's leading Lance just to start this turn off with an Iono here into a fresh 6 cards once again for both of our players. Hoping to get something to work with. Does have the V-Star now for Lance Bradshaw, so evolving into that, that's huge. We already saw the attachment there as well onto the Regidrago V-Star before that change in hand.
We'll see what the plan is from this point. Obviously, you think about those Dragon Pokemon in the discard pile, opportunities to maybe use that Legacy Star and get a couple more Pokemon in the mix.
Yup.
Giratina would be a great knockout here, but is it just the Dragapult or do we find a little more?
Yeah.
Oh, it is in there.
Oh, it's yeah, it was Giratina and Dragapult, I think, that we saw go down pretty early there for Lance. So this Giratina V-Star, this is huge here. Lost impact, it doesn't have to be from the active Pokemon. You can discard those 2 energy from anywhere on your board, those Teal Dance, Ogre Ponds, saving them up to be able to take these knockouts just like that Baynet EX here for Lance Bradshaw, going down to the discard pile, 2 prize cards down. And now Tyler Matthews left without a Baynet, but still has a lot of Duskull support there.
And this is where it hurts, because for Tyler, yeah, he evolved that Pokemon. He preserved the Shuppet, but he doesn't have the opportunity to attack with Baynet EX in this spot once more.
Because
you can't protect yourself from both the attacks of the Giratina and the Dragapult at the same time. But if you do leave that bench spot open, he has to choose just one. And now he doesn't have either.
Yeah, that is really tough here for Tyler, but still has, I mean, did we see the Iono to start this turn? I think that's what we just saw. So, I mean, that's what we've seen. Oh, no! What? No, that was the Pokestop, but that's not what you want to see off of a Pokestop. Both Dusknoir going down into the discard pile. Those aren't item cards. Those are Pokemon, and that is not what you want to see here. What does Tyler even have left to work with? What's in the hand?
Spookiest discard pile we've ever seen over there.
Oh, yeah, that's frightening as the Baynet player. That is for sure. There's only 3 Dusknoir in total in the deck there for Tyler Matthews, and the Dusclops is also in the prize card.
Yeah, and at this point, you want to evolve these Pokemon. You want to have them. You want to have the hit points available for yourself, because you're really worried. There's a potential for your opponent to just throw away Kyurem and clean sweep the board from this point. All in now on the Enveloping Shadow once more. Lock this Pokemon out.
Oh, it's the tails, though. That is not what we wanted to see. We wanted to have that lock down, but the Shuppet not able to perform there this time around, unfortunately. That is tough to see, but Lance Bradshaw, I mean, was able to play the Prime Catcher there to get this Regidrago V in the active position from Lance's side of the field. So it's stuck in the active as of now if there's no way to get out of it. But we got item cards.
I wonder if there was a way to get that card back. Maybe a legacy that he could follow.
A legacy, exactly. I mean, what do our Regidrago V-Star players say? They always say that if you're using your Legacy Star in a less of a recovery position and more of a dominating position, you're in a good spot here. And I think to get that one card that you need to secure a very pivotal turn like this for Lance Bradshaw would be huge.
You better be 90% on your way to victory by the time you use Legacy Star. You have to have the prize map locked in place. And I think we see it here for Lance. That Prime Catcher onto the Squawkabilly, taking a Dragapult knockout on that Pokemon and the Shuppet, leaving your opponent with just Duskulls that they can't remove because they'll lose the game is gotta be the most devastating thing you could do to a player at this point.
Yep, and you just, I mean, yeah, that's terrible. That is so terrible. And I mean, it can't even really be removed because you just saw 2 Dusknoir go to the discard pile as well.
What do you do from that point?
Yes.
You attack with Duskulls, I guess, but it's
Attack with Duskulls?
It's sad.
No. Yeah, this is not a good way to start the spooky season. That is for sure, unfortunately, for Tyler Matthews. But Lance Bradshaw's carrying out the strategy of Regidrago. It's looking a little bit different than we normally see it, but this is a very interesting matchup that you don't see often as well. But Lance Bradshaw is navigating through it effortlessly here. We see that Earthen Vessel being played, discarding a boss's orders. That is funny to see.
Yeah. You don't care what's in the active spot anymore. After this turn, you're going to be just fine.
Exactly. Yeah, Boss's Order is such a coveted card for so many other matchups, but here Lance can just run away thanks to that Dragapult, which is huge here. This Teal Mask Ogerpon, Teal Dancing, getting into more cards here from Lance's side.
Yep, still a good amount of resources here. Throws away yet again another Boss's Orders, but you see the energies lined up. Might even be able to pull off the attack with the active Pokemon if he so chooses.
My gosh.
From this spot, the energy switches are there.
It's true. We've only seen one.
And it honestly, it doesn't seem like it gets much better than Dragapult, Knockout, Squawkabilly, and Shuppet.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal, Kyle, if I'd say so myself. This is a turn that you want to see as a Regidrago player, absolutely. That Phantom Dive, not only doing an incredible 200 damage for just those 3 energy, of course, because it's being copied from the Regidrago, but also placing those 6 damage counters, taking a knockout as well, which is huge. And then Lance is just one more step away from winning this game, taking a 2-0 here in our Masters round 5, going undefeated so far here in Baltimore. I mean, we're just steps away from that, Kyle.
Yep, there's not much left to do on this turn except flip over that marker. We like pink cards.
We do like pink cards indeed. We're going to see this Legacy V-Star. This is 7 cards here.
Pink card! That's a pink card.
That was the last card, too.
That's a good one to see.
Wow. 7 cards there. The last being that Prime Catcher. Of course, they go into your discard pile, but you are allowed to take them back out of the discard pile into your hand here from the Legacy V-Star.
He just looks. He's like, yeah, I guess I'll just win. That sounds pretty good to me.
Oh, that's cool.
I got this energy switch. I'll have 2 fully loaded Regidragos lined up here. Prime Catcher, take these big knockouts. Sign me up.
Yeah, this is just brutal. That energy switch, putting that grass energy from the Teal Mask Ogerpon onto the Regidrago V-Star. This is the bread and butter of this deck here, lining up that Dragapult nice front and center on the discard pile.
Safe.
What?
This is safe.
What? I mean, it's valid. It's valid.
It's not as cool.
It's not as exciting for us, Kyle, but it is valid. That's still 2 prize cards down here now for Lance Bradshaw, putting Tyler into still an impossible position here to recover from. And that Shuppet with the energy attached, gone. It is off the field now, and as well as an additional Duskull out too. Squawkabilly, of course, it wasn't really doing anything. It was a nice spicy 2 prize cards, but Lance, like you said, playing it safe, taking things home nice and steady.
You don't think that Tyler's going to motivate the troops right here and now?
Oh, we see it. I don't think that's going to be happening, Kyle. We see the fist bump instead from Tyler Matthews, and Lance Bradshaw is going to be our winner here in our Swiss round 5. Community choice, of course, as well. So hopefully y'all now have seen how this potential matchup plays out between Regidrago and Baynet.
The city that reads, opening the arms up wide to invite Lance Bradshaw to a 5-0 here. Looks like they can write too as he signs that slip for another win.
They read, they write, they're unstoppable here. And they play Pokemon cards, of course. Lance Bradshaw, like you said, 2015 champion, now coming out here. Of course, now in our Masters division, taking things down undefeated so far in Baltimore at our first regional championship of the season with Reggie Drago V-Star.
Yeah, once again, just the tail of the time. We see this all the time with these kind of decks. We talk so much hype, and then it just doesn't perform on the big stage. It's so unfortunate for Tyler.
Sad.
Just run into this spot, knockout on the Bayonet before it even gets going. You have this opportunity maybe to get something going with the Dusknoir Curse Blast, but there's no Pokemon to attack with. Where are you going from this spot? And Enveloping Shadow seemed to line up, didn't work out in game 1. Tries again in game 2, and it's the same old story.
Yeah, that was super unfortunate to see. Oh, that was probably the most unfortunate to see. 2 Dusknoir going down. All you get's a Hisuian Heavy Ball off that Pokestop. And Lance Bradshaw was able to take things home. We see right here the last card after counting it out being that Prime Catcher.
He doesn't even use it.
Didn't even use it, exactly. Played it safe, took out that Shuppet, took out the Duskull here, securing those 2 prize cards, putting Tyler into an impossible position here. We saw the extension there to end that game. Lance taking a 2-0 victory with Reggie Drago V-Star here in our Swiss Round 5. I'm sure feeling very good about that win against a very off-meta deck in that Bayonet.
Lance's face at the end just is like, what does your deck even do?
Yeah, what was it supposed to do?
Was that?
That's brutal.
Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, that's not what Tyler was looking for. But he's already shown that the deck can do this. He's
in this tournament.
4-0 record.
Yeah.
We've seen so many players hyping this up. I believe he already has a couple cup wins with the deck too. He's just been performing so strong with it. This is not indicative of how Tyler's tournament will go at all. And maybe we'll have an opportunity to feature him once more in day 2.
I would hope so, because I want to see Bayonet shine here. I want to kick the spooky season off with a bang, Kyle, and we're lacking just a little bit there, but there is a lot of cool plays that you can have. I mean, we could have seen like a double Dusknoir taking a knock on the V-Star and Lance not having a response to that potentially, but I think you actually outlined it pretty well in those matchups, Kyle, when you were saying like these big turns that you take with the Dusknoir, you have to also follow it up with that disruption as well to really secure it, because this is a disruptive deck. It's supposed to be somewhat controlling in the way that it maps out you taking your prize cards, you utilizing your cards yourself as the player, and if you're able to do that, then you're in a good position. But